The mission of how I started podcasting and started Special Chronicles is giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. I became an athlete leader of Special Olympics Illinois, and when I recorded the audio of the speeches that I was given and putting those up as podcasts, I soon received messages of encouragement, and I learned that it was a powerful platform and really helping to make a difference in people's lives. 12 years ago, I didn't expect that anybody would want to even listen to me. We have over 42,316 listeners per month. It's a humbling experience. I'm really grateful to make a difference in other people's lives. Coming up on the Special Chronicles Show, episode 413, Bring Love to Everyone. We feature the powerful speech that I gave at the Voices of the Champions talks. All that is coming up right now on Special Chronicles Show on specialchronicles.com.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
You're listening to the Special Chronicles Show. This is on specialchronicles.com. My name is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and a Southern Shriver International Global must know with Special Olympics. This is episode 413, and the Special Chronicles Show is a production on the Special Chronicles Network on specialchronicles.com. You can find tons of other inspiring and empowering podcasts and digital media content, reaching over 40,000 average viewers per month. And joining me on this episode is our Special Chronicles business manager, board member, and my dad, Adam.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show.
And the last time I think, okay, well, let's just begin by saying, if you enjoyed it, if you love this podcast, love all the different programs that we produce here on specialchronicles.com, please visit specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. Please join our supporters and make a gift today. Anything else you want to say about that?
No, we, as always, truly appreciate everybody's support. We couldn't do it without you guys. We have a passion for giving respect and voice to people with special needs, and it's all possible because of you. So thank you.
Awesome. I think your video is off, but it is?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. There we go.
I'm not on. You are.
I think you're back now. There was a few, I don't know. Is it still on? I feel like it's on.
Mic is muted.
Well, no, that's the StreamYard mic. The people can still hear you. Trust me. I hope. Anyways, we would love for you to support so we can keep the lights on and keep all the technology plugged in. You can, as we said, you can join our supporters and make a gift today at specialchronicles.com/give. One time, monthly, annual, all of it goes a long ways in support of our mission. And with that, quick note, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Vimeo, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on all the different, wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find us on specialchronicles.com, our newsletter, and all of our various links are there. Right?
Sounds good, Daniel. I think we're well covered throughout any possible way you want to hear us.
Yep. So just go to specialchronicles.com. The link will be in the links that you need to know, or in the description of this either YouTube or Facebook Live video, or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Pandora, wherever you're listening to us. And with that, we're going to come back to you after we hear the as a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger of Special Olympics, I presented at the first ever Voices of Champions talks on the 16th of February 2021. That was a week ago. On this week's episode, we present you this powerful speech that I gave, talking all about how a Special Olympics movement is all about love, why we need to bring love to everyone in today's world, and then after that, we will hear our after-show commentary to this most impactful talk that is much needed in today's world. So all of that is coming up on this episode 413. And should we get to...
let's go for it, Daniel.
This speech? Right, if we can play this, and we're going to add it to the stream. And you're listening to the Special Chronicles Show on specialchronicles.com. And there will be a link in the show notes if you want to listen to the full episode. That was last week's episode, Voices of Champions Talks. Right? People can go listen.
Absolutely.
To hear not only me, but those sort of 8 of us speakers from across the country. There we go. Okay, so right now, my speech from the Voices of Champions Talks.
So our next speaker is Daniel Smrokowski, an award-winning and veteran podcaster, columnist, and an acclaimed advocate, telling disability stories on the groundbreaking platform specialchronicles.com. He serves as an ambassador for ComEd and United Airlines. In addition, Daniel is a Sargent Shriver International Global Messenger with Special Olympics. Daniel creates podcasts, videos, blogs, columns, and public speaking to give respect and voice to people with special needs. Daniel educates and informs our community that those with different abilities bring unconditional love and joy every day. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Smrokowski.
I'm Daniel Smrokowski, and I'm from Special Olympics Illinois, part of our Special Olympics North America region. I live in the suburbs of Chicago. And I'm honored to be speaking with you today about how our Special Olympics movement is all about... After this, or love? After the commentary. Special Olympics brings love to everyone we meet. I'd like to share with you why I believe that. Yeah, but wait for me to... First time I thought of the whole idea of loving was the summer of 2018. It was the 50th anniversary of global celebrations in Chicago. You want to change it now? So many people doesn't make sense. From all over the world gave so much of themselves to the celebration. What do you mean? On 2 midsummer evenings. What? Many buildings lit up red for inclusion. A symbol not just for inclusion, but also for love. One of the buildings was the famous Opera House in Sydney, Australia. A few other buildings were Nelson Mandela statue in South Africa, the Water Cube in China, and the Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi. So many volunteers, staff, and fellow athletes gave so much of their time in love and support of current athletes, but also remembering with love and appreciativeness the history of Eunice Kennedy Shriver and the Special Olympics movement. One example I myself witnessed was a young woman with Down syndrome from Panama. She and I were talking on the bus. She was putting in a lot of effort to speak English, even though Spanish was her first language. For this 50th celebration, she came all the way from Panama. This showed the unconditional love that Special Olympics community all over the world brings to the movement. Countries come together for love or for war. But hate can be met by love. We Special Olympics athletes show love when we are met with hate. That's exactly the way I have always been. No matter what, when people say bad stuff about me and my friends, I smile, I listen, and I stay happy and joyful when interacting with them. That's what I've always shown. Special Olympics brings out the best in every person. Special Olympics brings out the best in not just every athlete, but every coach, volunteer, staff, every family member, law enforcement participant, and every sponsor. You're listening to the Special Chronicles Show right here on SpecialChronicles.com. That was the brief speech that I presented at the Voices of Champions talks on the 16th of February, 2021. Again, you can go to SpecialChronicles.com, look for episode 413, that's SpecialChronicles.com/podcast 413 for the show notes with links and more information on how to get in touch with us is in the show notes on SpecialChronicles.com/podcast 413. And now, what? No? I feel like you blinked. And now, for our after show commentary to this most impactful speech that is much needed in today's world, I'll begin with you. Listeners, you can email us feedback@specialchronicles.com if you want to share your feedback on the speech. Feedback@specialchronicles.com. But so did you after hearing that speech, any give any brief comments about that speech?
Sure, Daniel. I think that it was an awesome speech, and it's something that's to hear the views of champions and
in particular for this particular speech.
Yeah, and again, I think it's hearing the views of
not the whole Voice of Champions, just this speech that I gave. Okay.
I think the message is just outstanding. It's such an important part to have inclusion in every day of our lives. The whole Special Olympics movement and the messages like Daniel has so nicely stated. To be able to unconditionally give love and joy to everyone, everywhere, is something that we should all aspire to and really think about in our daily lives. The world will be a better place, whether you have a learning disability or any type of special need, or whether you are, no matter where you are in your life and what you do. If we start thinking about how we all are the same, and the things we do and in our everyday lives, I think some of the, as Daniel puts it, hatred would not be around, and we would be focused on, love and joy, and everybody would be happier, as well as there would be, less less negative things in the world and more inclusion, and so much more could happen that way. So those are some of the messages I got from, the speech that you gave, Daniel.
So let's kind of maybe go just a little bit more in depth into speech. I know it was only 4 minutes, and this commentary will be a little bit longer than what the speech was actually. But anyway, with that, as one thing I noted in the speech was how a Special Olympics movement is all about love, and you mentioned a little bit about that, but maybe we can go a little bit more in depth and kind of tied in with how a Special Olympics movement is all about love, of what I clearly stated in the speech. I also stated about how hate can be met by love. You want maybe comment on any of those?
Sure, Daniel. I think when you look at Special Olympics movement, and specifically the Special Olympic athletes all around the world, and there's millions of them, is they really have a passion in what they do. They have a passion in their lives, and with their learning disabilities, they come across hatred all the time, whether it's no matter where you are in the world, what country you're in, and it doesn't bother them because they are so optimistic and so positive, and they figure out how to move forward. They're not going to let anything stop in their way. So those are some of the things that are such a powerful movement, and it's not just one or two individuals in your neighborhood. It's actually millions of athletes and their families, and from just about every country in the world. And that's what's so powerful about it. And it's movements like that and the efforts of so many people like that do make a difference in the world. And if we keep doing that, we are slowly changing the world. We're letting hatred not bother us, and we're actually accomplishing more things. And making it a better place in the world to, for everybody.
So, kind of going along with that, one thing that I said was how hate and intolerance can be met by love, and I feel like we're kind of saying that one particular line over and over again. But if there was one message from this 4-minute brief speech that our listeners can get and take with them when they're done listening to this podcast, this episode of this podcast, when they're done watching this speech that I gave, if there was one lesson that would that lesson be about how, as a leader, as an example, that as Special Olympics athletes, we show, when so many times we are shown hatred, we are shown intolerance, and instead of getting mad, instead of showing hate back at them, we show love, we show kindness, we show joy, we show love to them. Is that the lesson that you think that all listeners, that all can, after they watch the speech, after they are done listening to this episode of this podcast, that they can take with them?
Yeah, I think that's a very good lesson. It's probably, it can be better. Another way to look at it is real life examples of our everyday lives. When we go to the grocery store, or when we go to a restaurant, or when we go for a walk, you really notice the difference if you have a disability, and it's how people react to you. Most people with disabilities are very, are very kind and loving, and they don't let the disability get in their way. So if they go to a grocery store, they say hi to people. And if they need help, they ask for it. And if somebody else looks like they need help, they actually offer to help, to whether it's to pick up something off the shelf to a senior person that's having problems doing it, or if they can't find something, they go ask for it. And I think that the example I'm trying to show is that people react differently in those situations. Sometimes, and I think I see more and more of it where people are reacting positively. They'll talk back, they'll respond with a smile to somebody with a disability that's asking a question. They'll help them, and they start engaging in a conversation with them to get to know them a little bit, even if it's only for a few minute conversation. But in those few minutes, you've made another friend, and you have a better understanding of that person with a disability, and the person with a disability has, a better understanding of you as a person. So they've met another friend. That's the positive side. And then occasionally, we're not 100% there, because occasionally you see people in the store that will, kind of shun that wonderful opportunity, and they'll either make fun of the person with disability or ignore them or walk away or make fun of them. And I see less and less of that, but it's still there. So I think that the message we're trying to say today, if you look at it into our everyday life, like going to the grocery store or a restaurant or church or taking a walk or whatever you do, that's how we start making a difference, and that's what this whole message is about. How do we turn all this into our everyday lives?
So as we kind of come to a close of this commentary and this episode overall, which don't worry, folks, we will mention our partners and sponsors and how you can support and join our supporters in a few moments as we take a partner and sponsor break at the end of this episode. But before that, as we come to a close of this after show commentary of this conversation all around this speech that I gave about how we can bring love to everyone, how our Special Olympics movement is all about love. And as we come to a close, maybe we can kind of share some final thoughts and about this topic, about the speech. But in sharing some final thoughts, we can maybe conclude with saying why we need to bring love to everyone in today's world, not just for those of us with intellectual disabilities, for those of us Special Olympics athletes, but for everybody, like our family and people without disabilities as well. So everybody joining together in this inclusive world, in really sharing really why everybody, no matter what ability, no matter what disability that somebody may have, why everybody needs to bring love to everyone else in today's world, and kind of maybe use that as a prompt for our final thoughts.
Yeah, I think those are all really good ideas, Daniel. I think I would like to kind of, if I was to have one major thought over here, it's kind of based on a little bit of everything we just said. I'd like to see every one of us go out in our everyday lives and try to make a difference. Next time you go to the grocery store and you see somebody with a disability, go up to them and say hello. Say, hi, my name is Adam, and what's your name? And if they look like they're struggling, trying to figure something out, ask them if you can help. Whether you go to, next time you go to a store to go buy some clothes, do the same. Mm-hmm. Next time you go to a restaurant, do the same. Mm-hmm. So I empower everybody else to try to live their lives every day that way. And I think that's what our whole message is today. And that's kind of a real world take away from this, not to just talk about it, but to go do something every day. Say hello, make a new friend, and you'll see a lot of smiles from that. And that's how inclusion keeps growing.
So with that's a good way to conclude, to wrap up this conversation. Again, if you want to watch the full episode, it's on our YouTube channel. I mean, not just the full episode. If you want to watch just the speech by itself, right? Yes. Just the speech by itself, it is on the YouTube channel. We will just go to YouTube and search for Special Chronicles. It's also linked at the top of specialchronicles.com. You can click the little YouTube icon thing at the top of our website and find it there as well. So with that, anything else you want to finish saying to the listeners?
No, I mean, I think our messages and our thoughts, hopefully, they made a difference in your lives, and hopefully, it's a continuation of the messages that we keep giving, and every day. So this is just a way to get together for a few minutes and rethink all of that. But the key message is, again, the Special Olympic movement, the voice of champions, the whole idea of bringing unconditional love and joy to everyone starts with each of us every day in the little things that we do in our normal lives.
So we hope that all of you who are listening or watching this episode of this podcast will take this message with you. Take this message of love out with you when you're done listening or watching this episode. Please go and take out with you into the community, and to remember to bring and to really show love to everyone, especially when you are met with hate, to really show love to everyone. And with that, we are going to take a quick break to how you can join our supporters and support this podcast and thank our partners and hear a few messages from our partners. You are listening to the Special Chronicles Show right here on SpecialChronicles.com. I'm Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and a Sargent Shriver International Global Messenger with Special Olympics. And
I am Adam, part of Daniel's support arm
team. And we will be right back after a quick message from our supporters. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcast, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and really is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they're literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Smrokowski, and I also am a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd Energy Force program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer, saving you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out PodmanDan.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
And stay safe.
Bye.
Coronavirus has spread throughout the world. Information about children with this disease is limited, but they are known to have had mild symptoms. Many organizations are responding accordingly depending upon their area. It's best to stay home and away from others, especially when sick, and continue following healthy hand wash guidelines, covering mouth and nose and not touching your face or high-touch surfaces. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces regularly, and for more information, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Thank you.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality,
dignity,
and the recognition of our
shared humanity. We will not stop
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution is inclusion.
Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
Oh, listening to the Special Chronicles Show. This is right here on SpecialChronicles.com. This is Daniel again. I am back, and just before I'm coming out of that break, I almost pressed stop recording, and well, that would be an abrupt ending to the episode. And anyways, with that, want to just quickly remind you all that you specialchronicles.com/show is the podcast page for this particular podcast that you're listening to. You can also make sure to just visit specialchronicles.com to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Vimeo, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, subscribe to our newsletter, and or watch our live stream, read our blogs. We'll hopefully be adding a new blog writer very soon, as well as other shows. So just go there to check it out. If you want to get in touch with me and find out what I'm doing when I'm not on the airwaves, when I'm not behind the mic, you can follow me on Instagram at PodmanDan, or just follow me on social media overall. Special Chronicles. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that. But mainly Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me at PodmanDan, PodmanDan at PodmanDan is where you can follow me. Just a reminder, you can send in your feedback to feedback at specialchronicles.com, feedback at specialchronicles.com, and learn how to connect with us on social media. is specialchronicles.com. It's just where you can go. I'd like to give a brief shout out to one of our favorite Colorado listeners, Hannah. Cooking Health with Hannah video series is on the Special Olympics Colorado's YouTube channel. We have a link to it on specialchronicles.com/Cooking Health with Hannah. That's specialchronicles.com/Cooking Health with Hannah. So we definitely recommend. And as you heard at Voices of Champions, if there are any Special Olympics athlete leaders that are listening to this podcast right now, that somebody who's a Special Olympics athlete leader, mainly across the North America region, anyone in the U.S., Canada, or the Caribbean, and you're interested in speaking in an upcoming quarterly Voices of Champions talks. It's every quarter, so every few months. You can send an email to Jason Shimo, the VP of Athlete Leadership at Special Olympics Maryland. His email is in the description or in the of this podcast or live video. JSCHLIML@SOMD.org. But again, his email will be in the show notes or the description of this episode. As a reminder, and if you have any feedback for this episode, you can go to send an email. You can send us your audio email feedback at specialchronicles.com, feedback@specialchronicles.com. And as a reminder, you can make a gift today and really help us to keep the lights on. Keep the lights on and keep all this technology plugged in. You can just visit specialchronicles.com/give, specialchronicles.com/give, and make a gift today. And we are grateful for your support. Sorry if I keep turning the light on and off. I just feel like I'm blending into the background. My dad said I should change my background. So maybe on the next episode, you might see a different background. That's because my dad said. My dad thinks this background is blah, but I will wear a. I think it's because I'm. Hold on. Maybe it's because I'm. Let's try that again. So with that, you might see a different background, but specialchronicles.com/ComEd is specialchronicles.com/give is where you can make a gift today. And we thank you for your generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. I hope that you've enjoyed the speech. We'll be back hopefully later this week with another episode, because I'm going to try to fill in a second episode this week. So that way it will equal out to weekly episodes in 2021. Really, but it doesn't have to be like that, but it's more content for you to share and listen and watch. With that, we'll be back next week. Remember to rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us, follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, tell your friends, like, share, and it would be much appreciated on behalf of me and our entire team at Special Chronicles. So with that, I'll see you on the next episode of the Special Chronicles Show right here on specialchronicles.com. We'll see you next week. Take care and God bless. Until next week, remember, choose to include
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Special Chronicles Show is a protection of the Special Chronicles Network. Learn more at specialchronicles.com. We'll see you next week. Bye. Bye, y'all. See you next week.